Hey, this is Matt Cameron, and you're watching Detroit Drum Dreams.
How would you describe your drumming style in 3 words?
My drumming style in 3 words would be, let's see, not too shabby.
What are the first 3 things you listen for in drumming?
A good drum sound or a good recording of drums is gonna like draw me in right away, because there's so much kind of poorly recorded drum sounds out there, like on the radio. It's mostly a combination of sampling and just digital technology and stuff. Which I'm not poo-pooing it. I prefer analog sounds basically for a drum set. So that's the first thing. Second thing is going to be like, just like if the music sort of moves me, if I like the music going, like if the drums are a part of the music in a good way. And I guess the third thing would just be like, what he's doing. Like, I mean, what's he bringing to it? Like if there's something different that got me to listen in the first place, then it's kind of cool to hear something new on the drums, which is hard to do.
You are in fantastic shape. We're wondering, not just warming up for the shows, but what do you do to prepare for a tour?
Wow. Fitness plays a big part in being able to do a 3-hour Pearl Jam show on the drums at 51 years old. So back in my 20s and 30s, I didn't really train per se before a tour started, but as I get older, I have to get on a treadmill, lift a little bit of weights, just stay active, stay moving, and then I have to practice more than I used to when I was younger. Just playing on a practice pad, using getting my hands warmed up, stuff like that. So fitness is a big part of my regimen out here for sure.
You guys take your activism very seriously as a band. You took on Ticketmaster's predatory fees. You support Vote for Choice. You created your own Vitalogy Foundation.
Right.
What are your thoughts on leveraging your popularity to encourage others to act?
Well, I think it's important for us to just to be aware of what's going on around us in the world, and it seems like a lot of activism these days is going to come from private institutions or private citizens or citizen groups, I guess is what you could call us. We're just a group of citizens. So I think it just plays into that whole kind of philosophy of we can't really rely on these politicians all the time to come, to agree on what's best for society and citizens. Not that we have the answers, but I think we just sort of represent a broader, classification of groups that like to present, issues that we think are important.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, basic stuff. Environment is kind of is one of the main issues that we're all passionate about.
Absolutely. I've used songs like Unemployable, Army Reserve, and Marker in the Sand in my classroom to make thematic connections. What can you tell us about being in a band that takes on political challenges and pulls no punches when it comes to social commentary?
Well, I don't think like it's our main focus. Our main focus is music, but sometimes the lyrics, or if there's a subject matter that someone's passionate about it at any given time, it might make its way into the music. But I think first and foremost, it's got to be good music. So I think that's still the main criteria for what we do.
Gene Simmons
Uh-oh.
recently went on record saying that rock and roll is dead, and obviously people are interpreting that in various ways. What
Right.
do you have to say about that?
Oh, it's obviously not dead, but I think it's going more underground now, like it used to, like when I was coming up in the 80s, which is important, and I think it's a good sort of, incubation period right now for a lot of really cool bands, and there's some kick-ass rock bands out there right now, There's Red Fang's killer, and, there's just, there's, I mean, the Melvins are still going strong, for crying out loud, so there you go. I mean, we used to play St. Andrews Hall here back in the 80s and 90s and stuff, and there was always a real vibrant scene here, obviously in Detroit. But I think, there's more underground rock scenes in the U.S. than people realize. So Gene's not a pulse. He will never be able to put his finger on the pulse, ever. I'm sorry to say. And I used to think he was the coolest when I was 17.
Thank you for talking a little bit about St. Andrews Hall.
Oh, yeah.
So if people are asking you about Detroit, and I know you're here for a limited amount of time when you swing through, but what do you think of when you think of Detroit?
I think it's just one of the classic American cities. I mean, it's given the U.S. culture so much. I mean, musically, good God. So it's got a special place in my heart for sure. I only wish it could be seen as like a good investment for businesses and stuff like that. Like people with money to come in here and just like make the downtown a little more vibrant. But it seems like it's coming back. So good job, Detroit.
How would you describe the Pearl Jam fan base?
Well, let's see. I would describe the Pearl Jam fan base as extremely loyal and as extremely connected. They're very supportive of each other. Like when they travel around all the different cities that we go to. I mean, we're always surprised to see a large number of familiar faces in a lot of the in the audience. So they must be traveling and following us, which takes a lot of work. A lot of organization, so
A lot of commitment.
hats off.
Pearl Jam, you guys own your own record label. You guys release these boots.
Yeah.
You have a small army of top artists designing really cool T-shirts, posters, collectibles. I mean, people are passionate about this kind of stuff.
Right.
It's a culture.
Right.
What do you guys have coming up next? Because you're very creative. It really does transcend the music that you're making.
Well, I think what's coming up next is just more of the same. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to start another record and another record tour, but it's we're not done yet. So I'm sure we'll get something out there as soon as we feel like it's time.
This is straight from today. These aren't canned questions.
Go man, go.
Displayed all the posters, 45s, and stickers hanging up in my classroom. I had a student today, I told him I was going to see Pearl Jam, and he said, "What's a Pearl Jam?" How do you answer that? What's Pearl Jam?
Well, let's see. From what I understand, I wasn't a part of the naming process. I wasn't in the band at the time, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think you'll have to ask another guy in the band. But it seems to work. It's stuck over the years. Hey, I'm Matt Cameron.
I'm T. Greens.
And you're watching Detroit
Drum.
Dreams.
It's hard to get your whole mouth around, if you know what I'm saying. So many juices.
band names are really an elusive thing. It's like sometimes it is just sort of connecting two random words. Like one guy in the band might have one list and another guy might have another list, and so maybe that was part of it. I was in a band called Skin Yard in the early 80s, and that's how we came up with Skin Yard. So we have certain songs that we kind of have been playing a lot. We have to play it live every night. And I don't say that like, as it's a burden or anything, but sometimes it just, when you play it for that many times, it kind of ebbs and flows. It seems like it's really flowing right now. It's been fun to play. And so that's always a fun one because the crowd really gets into it.
What's your favorite song you're gonna play tonight?
My favorite song we'll play tonight, I don't know what we're playing tonight yet.